What?
Hey, we're live.
Hey.
Got you with the pump fake.
Oh.
So our chat is not available, which is weird.
That's all right. Nobody's ever there anyway.
No one is ever there. Anyway, welcome. Sorry
Yeah.
for all that fucking nonsense. We had a poltergeist moment where some kind of like 80s rock was playing through our fucking mics for no
It was
reason.
weird. It was like a 90s jam band.
Dude,
or
it
something.
was. Like, what even was that? That
I
doesn't,
don't know.
I don't know.
make any
It was very
fucking
odd.
sense. All right. Well,
It was pretty nuts.
Fuck.
But we're here now.
fuck that shit.
Yeah, fuck
Not-
that shit.
Not yet this movie, maybe, but
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I mean, some people might say fuck this movie after they watch it. I can actually imagine quite a few.
Oh,
people
yeah. This
that
would
would say
upset a
fuck
lot
this
of people.
movie right after they watch it. So, but
Indeed.
first, we have other things to discuss.
We do. So, welcome to Fuck This Movie. To my right, we have owner, proprietor, world-renowned tattoo artist, and
World-renowned.
world-renowned.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
know him everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not true.
He's too old to be cool, Mr. John
That
Brown.
is true. That is me. I'm John Brown. Well,
To my,
Hell yeah.
to my left, we have
Your list.
Criterion Collector, window repairman, and Goodwill bargain shopper, Mr. Reese Anweiler.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
I have nothing clever to say about myself. I'm Dustin.
Beer.
And I
You
just
did the
like to
beer
thank
thing.
everyone for fucking with us today.
Hell yeah.
all the fucking. All right.
So it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been.
We're back at it here. What have you guys been watching?
Do you want me to start off as usual?
Yeah, I don't care. You guys can fight over it.
I've watched some good things.
That's good.
I've watched some whatever things, and I've watched some bad things.
Yeah.
Good things. Well, actually, I'll start with the bad things. Bad things. Worst thing I've watched was a movie called The Machine on Netflix.
Was it the Burt Kreischer movie?
It was.
Is that like the knockoff of Ex Machina?
No.
No,
It's
Bert Kreischer.
It's like based off of his like comedy skit
Yeah.
His shtick.
about going to Russia. And,
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
so
Being
put off
drunk.
by the advertising for that movie because it just seems like
So it's fucking goofy. It's a fucking
Yeah.
shtick through and through. I mean, it's unapologetically a fucking shtick, and it's
I like the comedy bit. The comedy bit's hilarious.
yeah. It's weird to make a movie out of a bit,
a comedy
right?
bit, yeah.
Like,
So
it's not,
who's the Australian comedian that I like? Jim Jeffries.
right.
He did a series, and like the series was based, like as I found out, the series was based off of his comedy ramblings. And so if you'd seen a stand-up comedy and then you went to watch the series, it was just like, oh, these are exactly the jokes from his stand-up,
Right.
but acted
Yeah.
out.
yeah.
You know, and it's just like, that's awkward.
It makes it really awkward. And
John
Yeah.
Mulaney tried a sitcom that was that, but it was like really cheap.
It
It got
like-
canceled after like 6
Was it like
episodes.
specifically his jokes? Because
Yeah,
yeah.
Like if I don't know how familiar you are with John Mulaney, but he's got a story about trying to get a prescription for weed by telling the doctor he gets he pees a lot on airplanes, and this whole thing. And the first episode is the only one I watched, is that exact story that he told.
Yeah,
But it's like-
but it's acted out.
It's
yeah.
acted out, but this one is like in such a way that they're trying to make it look like an 80s sitcom, and so it's just kind of cheesy and dumb. But
Yeah.
I guess whenever a comedian is approached with the idea of, hey, make a TV show, they say, I've got the perfect story. My life.
yeah,
Like,
for sure. That's
yeah.
the default
The
setting.
ones that are successful are the ones that like kind of take a backseat, you know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
like Seinfeld. Like I'm not a huge Seinfeld fan, but Seinfeld wasn't really about Seinfeld.
No,
you know?
no,
Like,
it was.
I mean, as everybody that's like a loyalist knows, it's not really about anything, but like I thought the focus was more on like the support characters, you know, like
Right.
and
I think that Seinfeld was a really good, like probably the best example of that attempt, because it's not about a bit. It wasn't Seinfeld enacting a bit. It was a show that was essentially any bit he could write, because all of his bits were about random bullshit. So
Yeah.
like they actually captured it in that show for sure. Yeah, this movie was it was not good. It was awkward to try to do that, and I have no idea how much budget I had. I had a budget, but
Yeah, I mean, I was tempted to watch it because Mark Hamill's in it.
It was entertaining. That's what got me.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill was in it, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch this.
Who was in it?
Mark Hamill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it ended up.
Did he play a Russian?
No,
he plays his dad.
He plays his dad.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it ended up being a dad. Like, it was a super dad movie. It was just a dad movie.
Yeah.
It was like about a dad fixing his family, bonding with his dad.
Yeah.
And, like, incidentally, along the way, being a badass.
Yeah.
Somehow. In this case,
it's
by
like
being
a
shit
dad
drunk.
movie on every level.
Yeah, it's just the dad movie.
By dads for dads.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
It's like Gone Fishing.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say about the movie that I was pretty surprised.
Joe Pesci's in that. I like that.
There's fight choreography in the movie that's actually like.
Oh yeah.
Pretty. I couldn't find any faults with it at
Wow.
all. Like, it was like
I would not have expected that.
Yeah.
Full-on action movie from good fight choreography.
As a comedy, it falls short, but as an action movie,
Yeah.
there's something there.
There's a thing. So that was that.
The caveat being that you are in fact a dad.
I
So
am
this
a
movie
dad.
was made for you.
Yeah, I mean, not the exact dad that the movie was made for, but as a dad, I could be like, it's a dad movie. Yuck, yuck. It was fun. Anywho, so that was one of the worst ones I watched. I watched a middle of the ground movie. Another one that I want to shit on is Cadaver from Netflix. That movie sucked balls. Cadaver. It's the laziest fucking setup ever. It's a post-apocalyptic movie about, guess what? Cannibals.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. You tried real fucking hard with that. It was really annoying. They set up the post-apocalypse as a nuclear holocaust with like 3 newspapers and windows, and that was the setup.
Yeah.
Like, that's all they had. It's like some scrolling shots of like nuclear conflict. That was it. And then right into the movie. And so everybody's starving because of said nuclear conflict. And it's in this like, derelict little town. And while these people are starving, waiting for death, some dude rolls in like an old-timey fucking advertising car with like the poster on the side type stuff, and steps out and is like, come to the hotel so we can show you a play and give you free food. It's like, duh. Like,
so speaking of cannibalism, this just popped into my head. Does anybody have any like good cannibalism movies?
Besides Silence of the Lambs?
Do you have a go-to? I don't really consider that a cannibalism movie. I mean, like, the subject is broached, but I wouldn't consider it like because the one that comes to mind for me is Ravenous.
Ravenous also
really,
came to mind.
really good.
It's a very fun one.
Yeah, Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
And also I know the old I know it was born of HBO, but it's bounced around since. But the old Tales from the Crypt, there was a pretty solid cannibalism episode in there somewhere.
So there is a film. There's a film, but I can't put on the spot right now. I can't think of it. But
Can't think of the title.
Can't think of the title. But there's been a couple of things that I would say were good films of that subject matter.
Yeah.
For sure. And you could argue like certain things could kind of be that, like vampire movies or almost that.
And also Alive.
on-
Alive was another one. I think it was like
I'll be honest, I watched Alive recently just because like I was interested in story. I'm drawn to like those kinds of like gruesome stories. And I thought it was really underplayed.
Yeah.
Like the cannibalism, I felt like it was like barely there.
It was barely there.
Which I guess is a good thing. Like they weren't trying to be like...
I know historically those guys got into like a lot of trouble when they actually got back. It was like a huge deal because it's like I don't know, somewhere in South America, right? They were from, and it's like the cannibalism was like hugely against their religion, and I know that them trying to like integrate back into society was like kind of a problem.
That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, cannibalism is against your religion? Come on now.
Yeah.
How are we going to survive here? They only ate dead people.
Look, we're not upset that people died. We're upset that you broke our religion's rules.
And New School, I need to throw in Yellow Jackets here.
Oh, yeah.
Yellow Jackets hinges on the cannibalism realm, especially in season 2.
Have you guys seen the cannibal movie, Cannibal Holocaust?
I have not.
From like the 70s or 60s or something?
No.
I have not. I'm familiar with it. I have not watched it.
It's banned in 76 countries.
It was. It's pretty boring until like the last 15 minutes.
Most of them are just Russia.
Well, I mean, there's some people.
The Dahmer series on Netflix last year was actually really good. It was really well done.
It was really well done.
John hated it.
No, I enjoyed the production of the series. I was just like, man, this is just not that interesting of a story.
I thought they did a good job of like, kind of like, not sympathizing with Dahmer, but sympathizing with how you get there. You know what I mean? Like, kind of in a way of like, this could happen to anyone.
Well, yeah, it was a good illustration of how somebody could get that fucked up.
Yeah.
But after that, it was just, I don't know, I just lost interest because it was just someone freely murdering and eating people just because of, like, the only takeaway from that show is the same takeaway that everyone's had for the last, I don't know, couple hundred years, that cops are a lot of the time not worth a whole lot.
Yeah.
And like, that's what it was for me. Like, oh, he's just gets to eat people because these cops are fucking phobic idiots.
Yeah, but I think that's also like, that
Cops
is
are
like
trash, eat
kind
more
of
red meat.
like a healthy message, because I think a lot of people go like, oh my god, these serial killers must have been like geniuses to get away with it for so long. And the truth is like, no, it was just the fucking 60s.
That's a fair enough message. I guess I'm like skewed on that because I've always known that to just not like I've known that cops are mostly what they are.
Yeah.
I have a theory as to why serial killers like you know, somebody like randomly kills like a person and like, you know, of course they get caught, and it's just like, why is it so hard to kill, like, to catch a serial killer who's killed like, you know, a handful of people or a dozen people? And like, to me, it's because serial killers are more randomized, whereas like
they're not killing people they
don't kill people they know.
Yeah,
you know, like, so it's just random, and so they're is like an investigator, it's a lot harder to track down that. It's because like somebody dies, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to check in with their family, their friends, like everybody that knew this person you're going to talk to.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like the fact that serial killers kind of like just supersede that, and they're just killing randoms.
I mean, depending on the serial killer, like Bundy, like that dude traveled and did his shit. But like, Dahmer was like, here's my creepy home base where I store the dead bodies in my house, and my neighbors call the cops about the stench of death coming from my apartment. Yeah. Like, it's just ridiculous. Now, that show, again, it was really well done. The guy that played the lead, he's a fantastic actor. I love that dude to death.
Who was the lead? Do you know?
I mean, I'm very familiar with him. I just always forget his name.
Okay, one of those guys.
But I just got disinterested because it just like, I just don't think that particular serial killer was that interesting to me. Because it's just, okay, he's a fucked up dude. He's doing fucked up shit.
What are your thoughts on Ed Gein? Like this motherfucker that made like lampshades out of human skin and like
similar to that guy.
Like,
I mean, he's just another.
To me, Ed Gein is what like.
This is who played Dahmer. Evan Peters.
Okay, yeah, I know that guy. He was in all the like American Horror Stories.
Yeah. Yes.
Some were good.
But anyway,
a lot were trash.
Ed Gein, like he had like the belt made out of human nipples and like that's just like a weird ass fucking dude, man.
Well, they just all are just weird ass fucking dudes, and they just do that. And like, I don't know. Whoa. I think like Ted Bundy's a little bit more interesting to me than just like the obvious guys like that, Ed Gein and Dahmer, that are just like horrifically damaged human beings that are just obviously, you know, in the age that nobody can be a stereotype. Like, you look at one of those motherfuckers, like, that guy's got somebody in his basement.
Ted Bundy was more functional.
You know?
Like he was actually like a person.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's that show is really good, but I just kind of got, and like the hyper focus on the sexuality of it in the murdering was like, you can assume this. I think we need like super long, drawn out 45-minute scenes of it. Yeah. You know, like, I'd rather get into other stuff. I don't know. So.
All right. We got to kind of get off subject there with like
Well,
like
so
murders and
That's-
cannibalism.
that's like the
and
whole
we
point of
were,
the
we were
podcast,
on
though.
subjects. I was talking
What's
about a
up?
shitty movie called Cadaver, which
Yeah, you were the one that brought up
yeah,
the whole
you did
secondary topic of
you tangented us.
cannibalism.
No, I'll take 100% of the blame for us getting off track.
You're just steering us back.
I'm just
Okay, yeah.
trying to get us back on.
All right, so yeah, that movie sucked. It was very lazy. Everything was super predictable. Yeah, just don't watch it. It was like super lazy.
Did you say Cadaver on Netflix? Because I'm
Or
seeing
The
a movie
Cadaver.
called Cadaver on Netflix, but it looks very different from what you're saying. So I didn't know if that was.
Is the image a mask?
Uh,
Yeah, I think it is.
well,
So it doesn't look like what it is the thing. It looks like something maybe interesting, but they just use a shtick. Yeah.
that?
Yep.
Oh,
That's it.
okay.
Yeah. It's just a lazy post-apocalyptic cannibal movie.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Very different from the
After that, because that was low
Western
on the list, I didn't finish, but I started watching Angry Black Girl and Her Monster on Shudder, which is like a Afrocentric. Mary
Sounds pretty
Shelley's
self-explanatory,
Frankenstein.
really.
Yeah, I mean it is. That's why I didn't watch it, because it was like.
Oh, you
Yeah.
didn't finish it?
I didn't finish it because by halfway through, I was like, yeah, this is pretty much what I expected.
Yeah.
There's nothing really like gripping or interesting about it. It was like the movie tells itself in the title, and so as soon as you start, you know exactly what's going to happen, and
Yeah.
so it just wasn't really like driving or interesting. On the good notes, I did watch the El Conde.
Oh, yeah?
Black and white.
Mhm.
It was good. I really liked it. As far as like film.
I'm sorry, what
goes.
was this?
So we saw a preview of it.
Yeah. It's I believe it's Spanish?
Spanish.
A Spanish black and white vampire movie, but it just came out.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
set in Argentina. It's an interesting take on the idea, and it's an interesting story in that realm of vampires because it follows a dude from like the Napoleonic Wars.
I'm not gonna lie, you've said almost nothing about it, and I want to see it so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
It follows a dude that
I wanna see
became a vampire in the Napoleonic Wars, and then he ends up after so long deciding to be and it's really weird too because he wants to just crush rebellions. Like
Yeah.
he's like the most like hardcore like right wing fucking vampire you could ever see, which is
Yeah.
also very weird for a vampire. And then he becomes like the president of Chile. And like there's a bunch of historical ties that are interesting but weird at the same time. It's a very slow moving film, but it's shot really well.
Yeah.
The performances are all very solid for what they are. It's like in the preview, it looked more comedic
Yeah.
than it actually was. Not that it wasn't comedic, but it just like they captured like the most notable
To make it look like
comedic.
it's
Yeah,
comedic all the way through.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's
like
it is,
instead of
but
like a
it's-
comedic drama or
exactly. And that's what it was. A comedic
something. Well, that's
drama.
actually I appreciate knowing that before I go in because that can really be a big souring if you're expecting
For
a
sure.
comedy and it's just
for
like,
sure.
not
And
that funny.
there is some comedy definitely, but it's not what it's billed as. For sure.
They're probably trying to make it look a little bit like
More enticing, more fun.
what we do in the shadows
yeah,
or something.
Yeah. No, I did. I got
So
that vibe
good.
from that. But it was really good though. Super solid across
Cool.
the board, I'd say. Like I said, a little slow moving. If you expect action, you're not going to get that out of it. And then the most notable thing I watched otherwise is a movie called Kill List that I really enjoyed, which was a British thriller directed by Ben Wheatley that centered around
That name
an
sounds familiar.
ex hitman or a just out of work hitman with a bunch of family problems that's broke. That is an ex-soldier getting a job, his buddy kind of saving the day with a job that gets him wrapped up in some weird cult shit that turns pretty sour pretty fast. But that was super fantastic. In my opinion, I think the IMDb and the Rotten Tomatoes only got like a 4-ish and like a 70%, but I thought it was really, really good.
I've heard good
So,
things.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. thoroughly.
70% is pretty high actually
Yeah.
on
Right,
Rotten
right.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, I don't really know how to rate those things.
Yeah.
That sounds like a C to me.
Yeah, that's what I see as 70%. I think it's a C.
70% is a C
I
minus.
mean, you break it into stars though. That's 7 out of 10. That's
Yeah.
a pretty good movie.
Who's doing 7 stars? Like stars is always 5.
That's the problem with having all these there's 3 different rating systems for movies, and none of them quite exactly mesh.
Letterboxd does 5 stars, but you can do half stars, so it's technically.
So to me, 70% is 3.5 stars.
Yeah, that's a pretty good movie, I think.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
that's
a 3.5 movie.
Yeah.
It's not usually if I have them, if I rate a movie 3.5, it's not like I have complaints. It's more like it could have been better, but it was really fun. You know?
Yeah.
So I thought the movie was very solid. It played out as a drama with a thriller at the same time, like a family drama in conjunction with a thriller that turned into some kind of horror-esque occult stuff. Thought it was really good.
I also like to throw in here when we're talking about star ratings. 3.5 to me is also like really, really well done, like phenomenal job everywhere, but I just can't relate to it. That's a 3.5.
Yep.
It's like I know this is someone else's 5-star.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just not mine.
Yeah.
No, super fair.
Yeah, and everybody has those. There are some things you're just not going to be able to relate to. Mm-hmm. Somebody out there hates Pulp Fiction for some reason.
I can't wrap my head around that, but there is somebody, goddamn it.
Granted, that person is a moron.
Well, if you want to find that person, all you have to do is go on the internet and say Pulp Fiction is the greatest movie of all time, and then 100 little rats will crawl out and say, "No, it's not."
Somebody just told me today that somebody said they
those
hated
people
the Fisher
haven't seen
King,
it.
and I'm like,
what? Somebody told you what?
That guy I was tattooing on today told me that his wife hated the Fisher King when they watched it, and I'm just like, how could you hate that? Like, it's so good. Yeah. So, and again, that's...
Yeah, it's always weird when you hear somebody... Like, I remember when I worked at Blockbuster back in the day, and, like, the Fellowship of the Ring came out.
Yeah.
And, like, somebody, like, returned the movie, and I'm like, hey, did you enjoy it? And they're like, nah, not really. Like, oh, what did you not like about it? Like, well, honestly, like, the story was kind of thin. It's like what do you say to that?
No,
it's just there's always palette involved.
It's like the best part of like, and like for my money, one of the best books ever written, like one of the best stories ever written, like. And like that's the best like segment of it, so it's just like
Well, that's the thing. I guarantee you that guy never read any book anywhere.
Was a she.
She okay. They never read anything like that, and just don't give a shit about that. That's the thing. That's a person that
I hate that when people are like, wait, everyone likes this thing that I'm obviously not gonna like. I'll watch it, and so I can tell everyone they're wrong because of course I wasn't gonna like it. It's like if I go out and watch fucking the My Little Pony movie, of course I'm not gonna like it. But like that doesn't mean that there are people out there who fucking love it.
The thing that bothered me about this, because everybody like like if you're like, hey, you should check out this anime, and you convince me to go watch it, and I come back, I'm like, I didn't really like it, but I don't really like anime.
Yeah, that's
a thing. But to be like, I don't really like fantasy, but really the story just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you just weren't paying attention.
Well, because it was fantasy, because they don't actually give a shit, because it's like they want probably guns and action scenes and yada yada yada, and all of a sudden it's like
people also
nice scenery and eloquent speech, and they're like,
people also just hate it to feel like wrong. So if you don't like something or didn't like love something that everyone else is like, then you're gonna get really like, well, then it must be bad because I couldn't be wrong. I didn't miss anything. They just get like fucking pissed off, and then that becomes your personality, and you have to defend your opinion.
I'll never forget going to a family function one time, and like a random family member was like, yeah, we went and saw the new Batman movie last night. I don't remember what Batman movie it is. This was years ago, so it was probably one of the Nolan ones or something. But like oh really? How was it? And he's just like, it's a little bit far fetched. It's like, okay. Well, that was not helpful at all. Thank you. Moving on with my day.
Happens to be a comic book, so obviously a little far-fetched. That's kind of the idea. Shit. All right, but that was what I watched.
All right.
Amongst some random shit. But
I've got a few things. Reese, what do you got?
I didn't watch a ton, but what I did watch was all really good. I really just watched nothing but hits this last 2 weeks now.
Mm.
I got to go see Stop Making Sense in IMAX. That was just fucking incredible. It was really awesome.
I know nothing about that.
Was that the Talking Heads thing?
Yeah, the Talking Heads
Oh, okay,
concert
okay.
movie. It's literally just a concert. Like there's no
I'm
dialogue
sure
or
it
anything.
was cool. I'm only like so familiar with their stuff, but like it's that weird like fringy like it's pop music, but
art pop from the 80s.
art pop
Yeah.
is a really good way to look at that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, super good. If you're, I mean, it's a great introduction to the band. So if you are not familiar with them, just watch this, and if you enjoy the movie, then you'll probably like the music. I also got to see Bottoms in theaters. That's
the one you talked about in the last
yes,
episode.
I talked about it last time. It's just hilarious, and it's a lot more. It's very similar to Heathers. If you've seen Heathers,
The
it's
Christian
not like,
Slater thing.
Yeah.
There's some like really goofy moments in this movie. Like somebody gets stabbed with a sword and like they don't get taken to prison.
Right,
like it's
yeah.
kind of cartoonish.
Right.
It's very funny. You guys would probably like it. It's hilarious. If you guys need it, unfortunately, like it was not in theaters very long, and it wasn't in Warsaw at all. But it's already out of theaters.
Right.
But that means it's available.
I think it just says
digitally.
like that's an indictment of like our community and like it's like a queer movie, right? And like
Yes, it's
our
very.
community,
It's
our
literally.
community is like so anti anything.
What was
Like we live in like really the worst place on earth when you think of like from like a religion and like acceptance standpoint. Like this is like no, granted, Warsaw, Indiana, great place to live. It's like it's a nice community. Like I would say the cost of living is super low. I would say it's a relatively safe community and all that. But
it is, for sure.
If you have any kind of tick whatsoever, they will fucking find you. And like come to your house and beat your door down and like pull you out into the middle of the road and embarrass your family.
That's what's weird though. So that is very true about this community for the most part. But
it's like Pleasantville, but with the Klan in the backyard.
This is also a relevant conversation to the movie we will talk about later.
Okay, so the thing that I'm pointing out is what makes it so weird is that like I'm a godless communist that owns a business in town, and I'm not even like remotely quiet about it, and I've been left alone somehow. That doesn't make any sense. It's so weird.
You're
I guess I'm engaging in the local commerce that makes it like passable, and people just like.
Also,
leave it alone.
you're saying you're not remotely quiet, but most of your conversations are with individuals, right? You're not like shit posting in public.
No, I'm not
form,
shit posting, but
when
I'm
you're not trying to draw negative attention to yourself.
No, I'm not trying to draw negative attention, but when I'm out and about and like all the advertising and marketing, I mean, all the marketing of the shop is literally like fucking power fists, split crowns.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Molotov cocktails, yada yada yada. Like it's just it's weird. It's a matter of like convenience, I guess, who they choose to shit on.
Yeah,
they definitely have targets.
I mean, again, kind of relevant to what we'll talk about, but it is just kind of comes down to how much you bother them. Like, I mean, like if they don't like you, they'll find a reason to drag you out of the street.
No, and that's for sure. When I was in Mentone, when I was a kid, I got fucking shit on by the law.
Yeah.
Mostly just because I pissed my neighbor off.
Yeah.
And so I bothered somebody, and there was a direct repercussion, and that's how this community works.
Yeah.
Is if you piss somebody off, you piss one person off, there is a boatload of motherfuckers ready to grab their torches and pitchforks and load up and burn your shit down.
Yeah.
As soon as you piss somebody off. If you don't piss anybody off,
this is
then it's okay.
Why I think it's very funny when people say that cancel culture is worse now than ever. It's like cancel culture is a new word, but like cancel culture is not a new concept.
No.
It's just used to call it religion.
Speaking of cancel culture, I heard that that dude with the frizzy hair from that '70s show.
Yeah,
he got some shit, right? Like
he got sentenced to, I think, 30 years for 2 counts of rape.
Yeah, he's
crazy.
He's like the cancel culture poster boy at this point.
Yeah.
It's about like as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't delve into any of that shit because I don't know about any of it to say anything about it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
Other than the fact
but
that
that
he
is
just got
that is
sentenced to some
definitely
shit.
like he is the guy now.
Yeah,
And then there will be more people to come.
Yeah.
I think it's starting to slow down.
Sorry to slow down a little bit.
The worst of it's over.
I mean,
I'm the eternal optimist here.
like the amount of it is probably down forever, but like, I mean, that sounds, you know, I mean, what Bill Cosby didn't get 30 years, you know, and he had like numerous.
Man, he raped way more people, guaranteed. He's had like way more decades to do it. He's a raping son of a bitch. That guy.
We've been getting some funky conversation.
Super racist topic, guy too.
So. Moving on.
Yeah. What else we got there?
Gran Turismo on that list?
Yes, I went to go see.
No, we went to see that together.
Yeah. We did.
What was that?
So, Gran Turismo.
I know what it was, but like, did it feel like the guy? Did it feel like the director at all? Like, or was it just like some random thing he chose to do for some money?
I don't like. I would not.
Who was the director again?
District 9.
The guy in District 9. See,
I didn't get that vibe.
If I walked out of that not knowing who directed it, and somebody said, "Guess who it is,"
I would not have said that.
There was no way to guess him.
So he needed some house payments.
That's
probably
no. Like this is he did this. This is you do this movie so you can afford to do your passion project.
Yeah, we should look ahead.
If
I'm sure
you've ever seen,
we're gonna see the District 9 sequel finally.
If you've ever seen Entourage, great show on HBO. Like there was a lot of the great exchanges are from the movie star and his agent, and his agent's always like all about the money, and like the artist is all about the art, and he's just like, hey man, you just did a fucking like independent film. We just got back from Cannes. Like you need to do one for the studios, and it's like you got to do it. You got to do one for the one for your wallet and then one for yourself. You know, you got to stagger them because if you
working professionally,
if you just turn into this like art house actor, then you're just gonna be like this fucking poor ass dude living in a house with 30 other dudes, and you know, and anyway, I totally.
So I'm sure the movie was just exactly what you.
It was fun. I thought it was a really fun time. I'll never watch it again. I'll probably won't think about it.
Yeah,
after today.
I assumed it would be fine.
It was entertaining. I don't know. Like I was alive when Days of Thunder came out. You know, like I remember, and like to me, it's like kind of the same movie.
Yeah.
Like it's really just Days of Thunder.
Just playing Gran Turismo. So like
we
have that.
So I'd say I got in the door. Like my foot was on the door because it was based on a video game, specifically a PlayStation video game.
Right.
But I was more enthralled than I was expecting because like it is based on a true story, and I was kind of shocked I had not heard the story before.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Some asides, which you would expect. It's a Hollywood movie, but like it's about like, you know, like there's like a tournament with the best Gran Turismo players, and the winner gets to become a real gets to be groomed to be a real race driver.
To be groomed to be,
and
that's a story.
I gotta say. The finalists or whatever that are competing,
like 8 people,
are all pretty good looking, which I find that hard to believe.
Yeah,
very naturally diverse.
I do.
Very naturally diverse and very good looking. You know,
2 of them are like super hot girls.
Yeah, you can't tell me.
All right. The wheels are falling off.
Yeah,
the wheels are falling off.
You can't tell me that it wasn't like a bunch of like mullet, like Bud Light swigging, like
or just like the completely classical nerd too.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, none of them were,
exactly.
They all had to be under the age of 30, right? Whereas like the 50-year-old, you know.
It was a little far fetched.
That's a little ridiculous. Yeah, I kind of assumed that might be the case.
You know, that doesn't necessarily affect the story. So like,
no,
I assume there's a lot of stuff like that. You pull the strings, and it's like not accurate at all.
Yeah.
I will say though, I always forget the actor's name. Help me out, Reese. The dude from Stranger Things,
David.
I know it's
David Harbour.
David Harbour, yeah. So his filmography at this point is still like building. You know, he's a late bloomer, I would say. Mm-hmm. But everything I've ever seen him in, he's been good.
Yeah, honestly,
everything I've seen him in hasn't been good, but everything I've seen him in, he's been good. Yeah. So I'm kind of like my stock is up on David Harbour. I just feel like he's just a good supporting actor, and you can put him in anything, and he'll be fine.
Okay.
he's a genre of actor to me that I won't probably watch something because he's in it.
Yes.
But if I'm already going to watch something and he's in it, that's a cool.
You're
That's a
like,
cool-
okay,
Who
yeah,
is- who is he
cool.
in Stranger Things?
He's the sheriff,
Sure.
Hopper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah. No.
He played
really
Hellboy
good. He
in
was
the
in
Batman.
Violent
Which
Night.
was such a waste.
It was
Such a waste.
So sad.
What was-
Violent Night was fucking fantastic.
I haven't
though.
seen Violent Night yet. That's on
Oh
my
yeah, I've
list.
seen that. Yeah, the Hellboy reboot.
Oh,
From,
okay.
like, 2
Yeah,
years
I've
ago.
never seen a Hellboy. Like, I started to watch a Hellboy one time. Molly came in. Like, I came in. Molly was watching Hellboy. I'm like, what is this? She's like, it's Hellboy. And I'm like, I'm out of here.
It's just a comic book movie. It's more. I think it's much more interesting than most comic books.
Yeah. It's
In
the
my
kind
opinion.
of movie to
I
call it a comic movie.
I steer super
feels
far away
belittling,
from
but-
comic book stuff because it's mostly just guys with random powers because they stepped in shit. And like
Yeah.
Hellboy is a much more interesting like actual character
Yeah.
because it gets into supernatural stuff and like to me Hellboy is a way cooler.
It's also like the first,
Portion.
the 2 good Hellboy movies.
Yeah.
It's Guillermo del Toro. It's like good. It's like actual filmmaker.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Fucking
The
Guillermo del
cat,
Toro.
John Hurt's in
Yeah,
the first one
for sure,
Or
yeah,
might be
exactly.
both actually.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
the last one
But-
was super disappointing. But
Yeah.
that guy, I love him to death. Violent Night, fantastic. It's one of the best, like, insta classic fucking Christmas movies. I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch it this year. I honestly hope they have a sequel this year or next year.
That'd be fun.
It would
Well,
be fun. Did you
probably-
see it yet?
I didn't. I think I missed it in theaters. So and
Oh,
then I
dude.
was like,
So
well, I'm not gonna
they-
watch it in January.
There's so much more like playability to the story of that because they paint Santa Claus as a fucking Viking
Yeah.
warrior.
That could be
And, like,
as we
you
start to
could
get
do
into
so much
as
with
we start
that.
to get into the holiday season. That could be a good
Oh,
Yes.
feature.
dude, yeah.
That's
It's dude,
something, it's
a
something we
blast.
could
It's a
we can
blast,
revisit
man.
for sure.
I don't know how anybody
I
could
haven't
watch
seen
that
it.
movie
Reese
and
hasn't
be
seen
like,
it.
"Fuck
Right.
this."
I'm willing to hold out if you are. Like,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we can
All
hold
right,
out on that
boom.
and try to
Nice,
try to
nice,
do a
nice,
holiday.
That'd be cool.
All right.
Uh,
So moving on
um,
from Gran Turismo.
Yeah. Well, and then probably just the last, unless you guys want to talk about our double feature from a couple of weeks ago, but
I have both those listed, so we can say a couple words about those.
the last one I'll talk about is Sanctuary. It's from either last year or this year. It's hard to tell because it's like a film festival type movie,
Right.
But whatever. It's
Like it was released last year, but it was actually made like 7 years ago, like one of those
something
things.
like that. Yeah. Sanctuary. It's super kinky. It's like a bottle. I don't know what they call those, but like the entire thing is just in a hotel room and it doesn't ever leave. And it's just 2 people, just like dialogue and just weird stuff going on the whole time. It's really fun, really interesting, just so unique. I
Yeah.
would like honestly just don't watch a trailer or anything. Just go.
I'm into those type of movies. So
Yeah,
I'm already
I
like
love things that are just super, just character driven.
we did 44-inch chess last week.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, no,
kind of like
that's-
that.
yeah.
This,
Which,
yeah,
movie
it's
are
The
we
Big
talking about
Kahuna
this
is a
week?
movie I've championed
Yeah.
for years. That I think it's like that. And it's great.
it's like an erotic thriller kind of, but oddly, if it wasn't for like language, it could be rated PG-13. Like there's no nudity
because there's
or
nothing actually
Yeah.
It's
all that
but
erotic.
like a really modern, interesting
So
story.
what's erotic about it?
Well, it's about a dominatrix.
Oh, okay.
And her customer.
Okay, I actually I think I saw something. I don't like
Does that look familiar?
Yeah, I think I saw like some kind of an ad or something
Yeah.
about it, and I like poked into it a little bit when
Christopher
I saw the ad.
Abbott is the male lead.
Don't know who that is.
Um,
Yeah, I've seen his picture now, and I still
Yeah.
don't know who that is.
but he's really good. And then the Margaret Qualley, which I recognize her, but I don't know her name by name. But she's the guy who offers to suck Brad Pitt's dick while he's driving in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's the actress.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
okay.
Sanctuary.
Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, super good. I just went ahead because I've been wanting to watch it, and I didn't feel like dragging my feet on a choice. I just bought it for $15 on Vudu, but fully satisfied.
So we all watched together The Social Network.
Yes.
Which is kind of a biopic about the making of Facebook and then the ensuing legal battle over said rights. I've seen it several times. I know John Brown.
Yeah, it's
seeing it
first time for me, yeah.
Seeing it for the first time. Reese, you might have been seeing it for like the second time, or have you seen it a few times at this point?
I'd probably seen it like twice before now, but not
Yeah.
since like 2012. So
Right.
it was pretty fresh to me.
I think it's a good film.
Definitely, yeah. Super good film.
I've said it before.
All the members of the cast are
Yeah, well, the lead actor, I don't know why, but I just trust him in biopics. I think he's if you want to make a biopic and make it more entertaining than a biopic, I think he's a solid choice just because he's got character and
right.
he'll make the role his own and he won't just be the guy. And I don't know, I appreciated his take on the role, and I don't know, I thought I've seen it a few times now, and I think it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
I
it's just
definitely
fantastic.
had nothing bad to say. The only thing when he talked about that came up in my mind during watching was just man, these guys are super fucking just snappy and clever, and I just don't know if that would track for the real people.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I had to say. But the performances were fantastic, and the story is super interesting. It's a huge thing that's relevant to everybody to a degree, So yeah, it was
kind of
super
shaped
fun.
the modern world.
Yeah.
And then we watched one of the greatest movies ever made, The Big Lebowski.
Fucking Lebowski.
Yeah.
Oh
And
god,
it never disappoints. It's just so fucking fun, man.
It's so good.
It's actually kind of a shame that Steve Buscemi has no real role. Other than
Oh no, he just gets shit
shut the
on.
fuck
He
up.
just gets shit on the entire time.
That's all he's there for.
Donnie, you're out of your element. Shut
and
the fuck up,
and
Donnie.
Steve's solid. There's nothing wrong.
No. His performance in the movie is so good.
It's
I
it
like.
is what it is.
There's one line where John Goodman's character Walter says, he's like, Donnie, you have no basis for this conversation. You're like a child who wanders into a conversation, and it's just that actually is his character in the entire movie.
No, it is.
He's just a child wandering into a conversation that he has no
he's
background
literally
for.
he's just a guy that exists parallel. He's their friend, but he's just there. He's just always just there. He has no input.
They're having a deep conversation. He's like,
Content.
Lebowski, that's your name, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably that's the easiest role ever. Just be told to shut the fuck up. All right. Got it.
He's so good.
Let's
though.
roll.
Oh, Steve Buscemi, just all timer.
After what I hadn't watched Fargo. I don't know if I ever actually watched it. If I did,
He's
it's
a
probably in
demented
passing.
fucking Fargo.
Dude, he was so good in Fargo.
He is.
So good in Fargo. And he has real
Fargo,
fucking
man.
chops, man, for sure. He's just he's the goofiest motherfucker ever. So he gets the weirdest roles. That's what cracked me up in Fargo. It was trying to describe his character he's funny looking.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. Yeah.
He's
lived with that his whole life.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the TV show Miracle Workers with Daniel Radcliffe.
No, I know of it, but I didn't watch it.
It's similar to American Horror Story in that each season is a new story,
Right.
But almost all the cast returns.
Anthology series.
Yeah, but it's a comedy, and Steve Buscemi is in it every season, and it's a really
I have to
fun
check that
show.
out because I actually
that
I
sounds
dig
interesting.
I dig
Yeah.
the fuck out of Daniel Radcliffe too.
Yeah.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate what he does.
He's
Now,
so
he does
so good.
Such weird, goofy fucking shit.
And I
man.
like it because I feel like when you come up with something like Harry Potter, where it's just it's gonna be hard for anybody to ever see him as anything other than Harry Potter.
Oh, dude, he just
You can go you can lean into that, or you can just delve off the fucking path.
and he did, dude, and he just.
Well, I
ran
mean,
with
talk
it.
about one for you, one for them. That's Harry Potter is just okay, you can do one for yourself for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. No,
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly.
If you get to get that's the most
It's-
ideal situation ever. I'll make these, and then I get to do whatever I want.
It's like the anti Johnny Depp thing,
Yeah.
where Johnny
Yeah.
Depp just did nothing but art house films, and it's just he finally got paid, and he's like, okay, we'll do 10 of these.
Yeah. No, he got to start from being a fucking child, basically.
Yeah.
All right, I'm fucking set.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate, dude. Swiss Army Man is
Oh my
the
god.
fucking wackiest.
I still haven't seen that one, so no spoilers.
Oh my god, dude,
It's
that
it's on my list. I've got it ready to go. I
That
just need
movie is
time
something
to sit
else,
down
dude.
with
That
it.
movie
Yeah,
is so
appreciate
fucking
it.
fun.
It's so good.
Horns
So-
was really good. Too.
Horns is really fun, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a couple I want to go over. One is a series.
Alright.
The final season of Sex Education arrived on
Oh
Netflix.
no, I haven't watched it yet.
I'm behind two
yeah.
seasons.
You're
on it.
you're into that show?
Oh, I love it.
It's a
love
great
that
show.
show.
It's a great show.
Love that
Fantastic.
show.
Fantastic.
I will say I don't want to spoil it for you guys, so I'll be.
I've heard a couple mixed things about this season, but
I just love the show. I think it's a great show.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
fantastic.
like. So I'm sorry, I can't remember the character's name, but the ex-principal's son, who was like gay and or bi.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was kind of a cop out the way they went with his character.
I thought,
and also with his dad's character, that whole relationship. I thought the final season, my only negative was that like their like solution to that whole thing was kind of a cop out.
Oh, now I just really want to watch it.
Yeah.
That just makes me want to watch it.
That's that's been consistently one of my favorite shows since it's been on.
No, it's so good. It's so good, and all the characters are really satisfying,
fleshed out, and
they're all solid. They're all very real people.
I can't remember the
Their
name.
interactions are very real.
The lead chick is super attractive and like sexy, and something about a chick with a nose ring and a British accent just does it. But no, really good cap on what I think was a fantastic series.
I'm excited to watch it.
It's like I won't spoil it for anyone because I know a lot of people love it.
Disappointment is because
I was just a little disappointed. Yeah. Like I thought it was kind of a cop out. Like
a lot of series can like that can cop out.
So like this is a comedy series dealing with sex, and so like it's like it is a comedy, but there are some like real. Like things going on here. There's some real things going on.
Yeah, it's very actually legitimately educational about sex issues.
No, it is. And like I thought that one of the true like real to life things was this character who like is kind of a bully and he's kind of like gay bashing, and then at the beginning of the series.
I thought his arc in like season 1 and 2 were like some of my favorites.
His arc is awesome because it makes sense, right? It's exactly what you would expect. Somebody who's like trying to
wrap it up.
Yeah. And like I feel like where they're like they just totally just kind of I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for
I'm
you guys.
I'm gonna go fucking watch all
but
of it.
I was kind of I was disappointed with his arc and his father's arc specifically.
Right.
I thought that they kind of I thought it was kind of soft. Like I thought they took the easy way out with it with what is like probably the most difficult subject matter of the entire series. I thought they kind of took the easy way out.
Yeah, I'm super curious.
But it's still good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just quality programming. It's entertaining. You'll love the fuck out of it. I think the final episode is like, whenever you're truly invested in a series, it's like, man, is that final episode going to pay off?
Yeah.
I think this one is kind of just like, it was okay. Yeah. It was okay. It wasn't a terrible final episode, but it also wasn't like an all timer.
Yeah.
And
you want them to.
It wasn't the Breaking Bad finale where you're just like fucking perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it wasn't that. So anyway, I'll let you guys watch that, and maybe we can discuss it next week.
Oh yeah, I'll burn through
next
it.
Episode.
Yeah, I'll burn through it for sure.
And then the other thing I watched was, and this was one I've been meaning to get to for a while. I did a rewatch of Shutter Island.
I would like to rewatch that,
which is the Scorsese flick with DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing: the first time I watched that movie, I didn't really dig it, and upon rewatching, I kind of understand why I didn't dig it. And I think it's because I went into it being like I was like huge fan of Scorsese's movies, and
it's a very different thing for him.
It is a very different thing for him. And I think that I went to it expecting a Scorsese movie, and what I got instead was kind of a, I don't know, it's like the Fight Club guy, like I got a David Fincher movie, so anyway, it was good to be able to do a rewatch and just go into it with a clear head, and like if I just watched the movie and didn't know it was Scorsese, I actually really enjoyed the movie.
I didn't know it was Scorsese until just now, and that's actually kind of fucking mind blowing.
No, it is because it is
such outside.
It is.
So
if I told you it was David Fincher, the guy who did Fight Club and Seven, you would totally believe that.
Yeah.
And like it's just I mean, it is. It's literally Scorsese doing a David Fincher movie.
I mean,
and
hey, that's cool, man.
yeah, and I don't know. I didn't feel great about it the first time I watched it, but I actually like the rewatch quite a bit more.
Yeah,
than
I would
the
like
original
to.
go
I'm
around.
super intrigued now to
Yeah.
watch it as a
And,
Scorsese.
and that's the thing. It'd been
'Cause
so
I had no
long
idea.
because I saw it when it first came out, and that's been like almost 20 years ago
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Well, that's not true. It's like 2010 or something.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's like,
We'll round up to
That's like 20 years ago.
dude, that's 7 years away from 20 years. When you get as old as we are, 7 years is nothing, man.
Yeah.
7 years is a goddamn
really
blink.
2010? Anyway, like I just I don't know. I really enjoy the rewatch. I thought that I'm glad I did it. Like and I'm glad I waited long enough to kind of I gave
able
myself
to
a chance to like kind of
appreciate-
forget
Yeah,
what
yeah.
had happened, so
Right.
that it wasn't fresh in my mind. And
Yeah. No, I
So,
do that. Yeah, that makes me. I'm definitely. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch both of those things.
I haven't watched it since it came out. It is 2010.
2010. Okay.
But
I mean, that's
but
13 years. That's
Yeah.
I mean, it's not 20, but it's not that far off.
yeah, I mean that's enough time for
It's a
me to
fucking
kind of
grip,
forget
dude.
a lot of the details.
grip.
And
13
and-
years.
oh, I
goes
mean,
around.
I think it's crazy sometimes how fast you can just a movie can feel like brand new. I mean,
Dude, it's
like-
crazy how fast almost anything can feel.
Yeah.
Like that,
like I rewatched This Is the End, and I felt like I hadn't seen it before. I saw that thing like 3
Yeah.
times in theaters.
Yep.
You saw that 3 times in theaters.
No, I think I
wasn't enough.
I saw
Dude,
it
it's
twice in
fun.
theaters.
It's fucking
and then,
fun, man.
Like
That
bought
movie's
it as soon as
fun.
it came out. It's really funny. It's hilarious.
It's fun.
It's a funny movie.
I feel
I
like-
saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater.
It's
I
like
didn't see it
peak,
3 times.
peak Seth Rogen comedy.
Yeah. No, it's fun. I
He got all his
hadn't.
buddies
I
in
actually
it.
I watched that movie way late, and I thoroughly enjoyed it when I finally
Yeah.
sat down and watched it. but-
Speaking of the end of the world type stuff, I saw The World's End in theater.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Is that the one from like the
Edgar
Shaun of
Wright?
the Dead? Yeah. That was the worst movie, but it was still like worth seeing.
Oh
Yeah.
my! That's Edgar Wright is one of those directors where
Yeah.
their worst movie is still worth seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a fun theater going experience.
Yeah, very fun.
All right.
All right.
Anything else notable, or should
that
we
was- I
move
think
on
that was
to this week's feature?
No to bells. Yeah, I think that was good.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
that's good.
So last week's feature was called 44-inch chest, and before we started like delving into it, I did a little disclaimer about
Yeah.
how like the violence towards women might be a thing that could make you uncomfortable. So we always suggest that you watch the movie before listening to this part of the podcast. However, this week's movie, I don't know, man. Like maybe we need to just cut out disclaimers. Like,
I think it's worth saying.
No, it
There
is.
is there's an extreme amount of violence towards women in this movie.
there's an extreme amount of violence and rape.
Yes,
Right.
Specifically
But-
rape.
So
yeah.
the thing, though, I do
Not graphic.
I do.
I would say
I
not
want to
graphic.
clarify because I told that to Alicia and she's like, "Oh, it must have been crazy." Like, no, it's actually like it's not gratuitous.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's not gratuitous at all. There is not like tits flying out, slapping in the face. There's nothing crazy. Like there is
I would say sexual content and nudity are low.
very. I
However,
think the
rape
only
is high.
nudity you see is a dude's ass.
Yeah, I think
the
so,
only
yeah.
actual nudity you see.
yeah.
Is a dude's
Gratuitous
awkward ass.
when it comes to rape is very subjective. So like any amount of rape is gratuitous
Well, it
to
is,
some people.
but it's not.
So
I think
it's good.
so. I think when you
But
say
no, yeah.
when you say rape in film, people
Yeah.
think of what we were talking about earlier, which is like I spit on your lips.
Yes, yeah.
That's what people go to, and that's not what this was at all. So you don't have that. The thing that I would caution about the movie is just the level of unrelenting brutality in an abstract sense, because it's not. In the post I made on Facebook on my page about this episode was I called it a quiet brutality, and I think that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
a very like, and when we were watching it, and you've seen this dude's films before, and you're just like, I'm just like, when is it gonna start? When is
Yeah.
it gonna go? When is it gonna nosedive? You know,
Yeah.
because there's a moment where it's gonna nosedive, and it fucking does, and it's rough, man. It's rough. It's not what you think it is. It's not what you might think it is based on a description. The only way to know what this actually is to watch it. And so my caution is to just be prepared.
Yeah.
And especially the way this film starts, too. is,
I when I rewatched it, I didn't get to finish my rewatch, but I watched like 2/3 of it.
Right.
And I noted when it turns,
Yeah.
U-turns for hell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
an hour and 15 minutes
Yeah.
into the movie.
No,
and
it's-
before that, it's like pleasant.
No, it is, and that's so what this movie really is a fantastic microcosm of humanity as a whole. Like, you want to know about the fucking about human nature, about the human spirit. This
Yeah.
film will teach it to you in a very
Yeah.
real way. It will show it to you in the most honest and earnest sense.
Do we want to do the synopsis?
Yes. I do. I don't know if I'll do the. Well, I don't know. This is their whole synopsis. I don't know why it's so long.
Oh,
That's
fuck, that's a
very
long
long.
synopsis.
That's not the tagline. For anyone who wants to watch this before they listen, it is streaming currently on Mubi, which we talked about a little bit last
Yeah.
episode. I have no experience with it, but I've only heard very good things. So
It's got a stupid name.
yeah, they always do. Netflix got it, first one out of the gate. They got a good one.
Yeah,
Everyone else has
yeah.
been stupid.
I used to get DVDs in the mail from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the olden days,
trust them.
right?
They
know my
used to mail
address.
me shit. They know my address.
So yeah,
I gave them my address.
go watch it if you want. The Letterbox summary of the plot is: a barren soundstage is stylishly utilized to create a minimalist small town setting in which a mysterious woman named Grace hides from the criminals who pursue her. I feel like that. You just stop there. That's kind of like
no,
the summary of the movie.
that's enough.
But it says the town is two-faced and offers to harbor. Yeah, so it gets into like spoilers like immediately.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Oh.
But the tagline of the movie might be the best tagline we've talked about of a movie so far. It's a quiet little town not far from here. I think that's like a
that is really good.
Yeah,
That's
so,
really on the nose. That's perfect.
So when I was doing research for this movie, I was just going through old shit, like old reviews and stuff, just to get ideas. And I saw, I think it was like a New York Times review of the film.
Yeah.
And the headline for the article was, "It fakes a village." And I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty good.
one thing that I saw was interesting, or I thought was interesting when looking at those kinds of things for the film, I saw it had a listed sequel when you Google search it
Yeah.
of Manderley,
Manderland.
which is a film by Lars von Trier, but it is not a sequel, but it is the same minimalist theater-esque presentation with,
Interesting.
incidentally, a main character named Grace.
Huh.
So I'm going to watch that film,
Yeah.
and it will probably be just as crushingly depressing and ominous as this film.
Oh, I mean, the Letterbox description says in 1933, after leaving Dogville, Grace Margaret Mulligan sees a slave being. So I guess it is actually a sequel,
Oh, shit.
but it is a different cast.
It is a different actress. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So I didn't get to see that. I just kind of like watched a muted.
And I was actually just looking at this before we started.
Okay. Cool.
I can-
So
I
there's
can
a
tell
sequel. If
I
you
can-
want,
Oh my God.
if you want more crushing
The
depression,
legend continues.
if you want
Dogville
more crushing depression,
If you want to,
you're gonna get it.
if you want a hint as to why the cast is different in the second one, Nicole Kidman reportedly vowed she would never work with writer and director Lars von Trier again after completion of this movie. Kidman later turned down the lead in another one of his movies, Antichrist. But I just thought that was hilarious. And Paul Bettany
I've
apparently
actually,
was a similar thing.
we'll get into it a
There
little
is
bit.
sequel. Okay.
But in doing research, I actually I found out a lot about Lars von Trier that I didn't actually know.
Oh yeah, he's a weird guy.
He's a weird dude.
Yeah.
He's a very weird dude, and apparently very hard to work with. And
I mean,
he fucking hates Americans.
Yeah.
Hates Americans.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly, you watch this movie and you're like, oh yeah, that seems fucking true for sure. All right, so yeah, that's the.
He's never been to
premise.
America before. He's
That's surprising.
he has a horrific like fear of airplanes, and so he's never been across the pond before.
Yeah.
Wild. He just watches a lot of news coverage, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so that's the setup. I will say that this film is, I really love the presentation. I love the style that this is done in. I love that it is, for all you listeners out there, it is not what you think a film would be at all. It's shot as a play. It looks like a play. It's very stripped down. It all happens on one set. There's no real like buildings in the set. Everything, all the buildings that are pertinent to the story are chalk lined out with just a handful of pieces that the characters interact with present on stage. And what I love about that is it just focuses so much more on the performance. Mm-hmm. There's nothing other than the performance to pay attention to. And I think, especially in this film, the cast really delivers on that front for sure. So, but yeah, it starts out, innocent enough, nice little town, not anything crazy going on. Just a what was it? There was a mine that's a defunct mine, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So a defunct mining town that is now has mostly an apple orchard.
I mean, the mine really is just like a couple pieces of
it is just
2x4 and some chalk.
It is like 7, I think, pieces of like 7 frames.
Yeah.
This movie couldn't have taken much money to make.
No, not at all. Other than paying Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
And John Hurt a good amount of money.
Yeah, I'm sure. That was
I bet John Hurt is the kind of guy who does movies for favors occasionally.
I mean, especially for this kind of a thing, for sure.
Yeah, and I think there's a thing for actors who have like storied careers where they just want to work with certain.
It's like that's absolutely.
We talked about it with like I know you hated the Tom Hanks casting in Asteroid City. But I feel like that was a situation where Tom Hanks was just like, I want to work with Wes Anderson once,
sure. I know what it was. I missed Bill. That's all. I missed Bill. I think Bill would have been better.
That's fair.
And I like Tom Hanks, but I just think like in that moment, I think Bill would have killed that. Anywho, I'm just I love Bill Murray, man. So yeah, it starts off innocent. It's a tiny little town, innocent enough. Your usual cast of characters. The main character outside of Grace, played by Nicole Kidman, is played by, which I kept thinking it was a different person. Paul Bettany plays Tom Jr.
Oh yeah, you thought it was.
I thought it was Jude Law for some fucking weird reason. I don't understand why. So Tom is a self-proclaimed intellectual that really thinks he's better than this town. Thinks probably he's better than everyone, and he thinks he's better than everyone in such like a self-righteous way. No, it is. He's like
I'm being so kind and just teaching you guys these lessons.
He is the biggest fucking weasel in the world. He really is. And so he ends up with and so also quick to mention, along with this stripped down setting for this film, you get John Hurt narrating like a boss this whole time, and I really appreciated that part of it.
Back-to-back John Hurt films.
Back-to-back John Hurt films. I love his narration, man. I love that guy. He's
so
awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, even though he's the narrator, he's like probably the best performance.
Yeah,
in the movie.
he's a great character, really. So this girl wanders into town, and she first off meets Tom. And he basically brokers a deal with the town. And that's where you know it's going to go wrong, right? Because he's brokering a deal with the town for her to stay. That's where, like, you can kind of get a hint that, well, maybe things might not be super great eventually if this guy has to broker a deal to keep this girl in this town. But yeah, the first half of the film is, like, nothing but after she proves herself to the townsfolk, she basically does tasks for everybody, proves her worth, and it is the Depression. It's the 30s in America. Everybody's hungry. Everybody's a little mean.
Yeah.
Shit's bad. So you got to prove your worth, and she does, and everybody loves her. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves her. Everybody's super happy to have her. She lights up the town. Really lights up the town, and there's some really cool scenes.
They make like a very like they make a point of being like they didn't need this, like they don't need
No.
any of this, but it's
No.
they enjoy all
Yeah.
of it.
And
It's,
everyone
benefits from
yeah,
it.
everybody benefited. The whole thing is just lighted up for sure. There's energy that wasn't there before. She's doing things that nobody could have had done. That it just worked. It really worked. And there's like
Yeah.
a really there's a fundamental positivity at the beginning of this story.
Yeah,
That makes you excited because oh man, this is a really nice story.
yeah.
And then
There's like an alternate version that it's probably like hour 40 minutes long. This
Right,
isn't real.
right,
I'm
right.
saying there's an alternate universe movie version of this movie where it's like only 40 minutes long, and the gangsters come back, and then the town folk all do like Home Alone traps and scare off the gangsters, and everyone lives happily ever after.
Sure,
like that,
for
that
sure.
exists.
No, there's so many different ways this could have gone because she bonds with all the members of the community. It was just going great, and then how it's such a good example of humanity is the moment the tiniest amount of doubt and suspicion is planted,
Yeah.
everything turns immediately.
From
So-
someone that's not around, they do not know this person.
No, not at all.
Just like, well,
Yeah.
somebody said.
When
you're
she first rolled
dangerous.
into town, the gangsters rolled in too, and so they had this presence of a threat. And then after that, it was quiet until the police brought in a missing poster,
Yeah.
and then that changed the entire social dynamic. And the cast was great at showing that.
The poster was undeniably Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And then not that long. So once that was introduced, everything turned a bit. Everyone's dynamic changed. Everyone started to be less patient with her, to be a little bit
Yeah.
more
Because even
abusive of her.
when the first poster shows up, they're still like, well, I guess we'll be a little more careful.
Yeah.
They're like still helping her.
Right.
And then the wanted poster with the
Yeah.
like the bounty on it.
The missing maid, Tom, re-broker the deal
Yeah.
to make her work a little more. She was okay with it. And that's the thing. So also, Nicole Kidman's, and I really actually, knowing that Manderley is a true sequel,
Yeah.
I want to see this character post this.
Yeah.
Because in this movie, this chick is fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, this chick that gets berated and,
Until the end.
and raped until the end.
I mean,
but
she even justifies what she does in the end. She's like, it's a worse thing for humanity to not do
Yeah,
this.
dude, at the end, honestly, yeah, no, that's just that's excision of a wound.
Yeah.
That is very clinical, what she did.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no other, there's one thing that maybe could have been different. Not gonna spoiler,
You can say it.
baby didn't have to die.
It's true.
Maybe, arguably. There's a baby that dies, folks. Watch out.
Yeah.
They get shot in the face.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it does.
I'm not trying to throw out spoilers, but
not- also,
the baby gets shot in the
the
face.
violence is not gruesome either. There's
It's
no
not
there's no
gruesome.
blood
It's,
or anything.
not
it's at
gruesome,
point blank
but
range, and
it's-
it's not an accident.
So yeah, that's the thing. The way
In front
this
of
is
its mother.
done,
Yeah, in
it's
front of its
not.
mother.
It's not gruesome. It's not like over
Whose
the
task
top.
is to not cry.
But because they do keep it simple and poignant, it keeps it exactly that. It's like
Yes.
it hits.
I'm not saying it's not disturbing. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying,
yeah. No, it
again,
does. But yeah, so there's a family. One of the families in this town.
I kind of
is,
liked that the baby dies. It made the movie like more spot on for what it was going for. I think.
No,
Yeah.
I mean it was kind of necessary, but it could have been different. That's the only point that I think you could argue. Everyone else, all these other motherfuckers, burn them to the ground.
Yeah.
All these people are fucking terrible. And that's why I love the fact this movie has a real resolution because it's the only good resolution.
Yeah.
This whole town of 15 people do nothing but just the town turns into a meat grinder.
Yeah.
That just turns this woman out. Again, turns Jesus out. This woman is the most
Yeah.
forgiving, patient, kind, loving person ever.
Yeah.
To the end.
She's not
To the end.
imposing at all. She's like,
No.
hey, you guys,
No, she's
you do
game
your
for
thing.
it.
I'll
And-
just get ready to leave.
And that's an important point to note, that the entire time that she interacts with this town,
And she's basically put to work by the town, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can stay here, but we're going to put you to work, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But at every turn, at every point of contention, she's like, I'll just leave.
Yeah.
I don't have to be here. Like, you don't have to do this for me. I'm good. I'll go climb this mountain and, like, fuck off. Like, whatever. Like, she's always trying to get out of it. But she just keeps getting sucked in by the town. But, so, baby death. It's intense. But it's...
Yeah.
The death of this family is well justified. Because, like, there's no good person in this town. As you watch this film, as this film goes on, she's
probably the best person, and she's not a good person.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Who, Grace?
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing to say she's not a good person.
I mean, like, she orders all the children to die first.
She does. After one,
She's been raped a lot.
All those children. So that's the thing. Even the goddamn 8-year-old boy figuratively rapes her.
Yeah.
By forcing her to spank him under threat of telling his mom she's going to hit him.
That's like one of the more like wild scenes.
It is. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, all the other children, by the end of it, the only innocent one is the baby and the dog. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, because the other children are breaking her windows, throwing shit at her.
Yeah.
No, okay, folks, too. After about maybe 2 hours, 2:15.
This is a long-ass movie. Did we mention that?
3 hours
Dig in, folks, for some fucking
this
depressing
is 3 hours
shit.
of rape and depression.
No.
It's 2 hours of rape. The first hour is no rape.
Hour and a half. Hour and a half of rape and terribleness.
Yeah.
Just before that, it's like... It's super bright and shiny and positive. It is.
There's
really
really
all the rape comes in.
No,
It's a jolly good time.
Besides like Chuck, the Skarsgård character.
Yeah, being just super.
There's just there's not even really like foreshadowing of like something bad. Like it's not like, oh, she can stay in the town. It's a good town, but underneath, you know,
exactly.
There's
there
not
is
really
zero foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It takes a fucking nosedive immediately.
It's basically Pleasantville.
But no, so at a certain point, at about the 2 hour mark, she gets chained around the neck. They put a bell around her fucking neck and chain her to a goddamn iron wheel so she can't get away. And she has to continue to do her tasks for this town while she's chained to this fucking iron wheel with a bell on her neck.
And they keep being like, oh, here, we'll help you. You poor thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You fucker.
But, so back to the kids, at a certain point, by the end of the movie, all the kids are like, there's a scene where the kids are like riding on the fucking thing while she's pulling it. Fuck those kids. They're a bunch of dirtbags, man. The only innocent one was the baby. Yeah. But, you know.
We don't know that.
We don't.
That's true.
We don't know that. We don't.
Spoil the soil.
So yeah, basically this woman who is literally kind at every single fucking turn. The town just shows its true human colors. Everyone takes a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more and feels justified in doing so every time because there's a little bit more suspicion, a little bit more doubt, and that's all a human being needs to fucking turn his neighbor into a fucking bag of meat that he can consume. And that's what this film is. And it's a very real, very hard-hitting illustration of human depravity that happens everywhere. Because that's the thing. I love that tag. I really do love that tagline because human depravity as we know it is so much of like war and these big things that happen that feel big. Mm-hmm. But a lot of human depravity happens in your neighbor's yard. Yeah. It happens next to you. It happens with you, you know, and that's what this film really, really captures is that. Yeah. And it's fucking rough. It's rough to watch, for sure.
The set also, I feel like, is really perfect, both like metaphorically, but also like, I don't know if they would have been allowed to make this movie if it was going for like realism, like full sets and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think, like, especially with the child actors.
Yeah.
The fact that it's like chalk outlines and stuff, I feel like that's so much safer for like a child actor, and also just like, as a viewer, even like you're just
and that aesthetic choice is super interesting because there's a scene in rape scene that made it hit so much harder the first time she is raped by Skarsgård's character Chuck, which is a super devious thing that he does.
Yes.
And he's the one that starts the whole thing to become a norm for her. But with the way this film is shot, he's doing this in private in, I think, his home.
Yeah.
And he forces himself on her, and then it pans out through the rest of the town, which again is just a big giant fucking studio room. But you get to see all the characters just going about their business.
Yeah.
You know, just completely like, and that was very hard hitting for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you just bailed on that. Okay. So that's gonna wrap it up. There was just a mic drop
Boosh.
in the room, and that's really hard to do because our microphones are
On
attached
stands.
to stands. So anyway,
What was a standout moment in the movie for you?
the standout moment for me is honestly, I think Paul Bettany's performance. I think he's at his best here. Honestly,
The only gripe I have, honestly, with any performance, with his though specifically, is it's definitely like his first time doing an American accent,
yeah, okay,
and it's
Yeah.
like it's the British male actor voice doing American accent of like, yes, welcome to Dogville. This is my American accent. I am an American. You know,
Yeah, no.
like no twang,
It's,
no.
it's just
no
a little
affect.
too like
It's
overstated.
plain.
Yeah.
He takes accent to
He doesn't
zero.
have a dialect to it. It's just
Yes.
yeah,
And it's the same
just
thing-
more like getting rid of his own accent instead of like adding like
any kind of regency or
sure.
authenticity, but like it's the same exact voice of like Donald Gleason in Ex Machina or Benedict Cumberbatch in like the first Doctor Strange movie, where it's like,
Yeah.
here I am, I'm doing an American accent now.
Yeah.
But besides that, like he powers through it. And
I
totally sells the performance.
I thought he was actually really good.
Which one were we talking?
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany.
Yeah, no, he was good for sure. I think the whole cast, that's the one thing I do like. This movie is really heavy and it's hard to get through, but the performances there's some really beautiful performances in this film. Nicole Kidman just fucking killed
She's
it,
always
in
good.
my opinion. She is always good, but this was like
I
stripping
I'm in love with
all
Nicole
the
Kidman.
extra bullshit away from a film and getting to just really like see her performance and just her performance with no frills.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hit hard. But
Yeah. Then the familiar faces just keep coming.
Yeah.
throughout
Oh,
the whole
the
movie.
cast is insane.
No,
like,
it
there's
is
great.
like,
It's, you've seen every one of
great
these
cast.
people.
Yeah.
somewhere.
So Lars von Trier hates Americans, and I guess he took some criticism for his portrayal of Americans in this film for a person who's never actually been on American soil in his lifetime.
Well, as an
mean-
American,
I kinda
He's
get
kind
it.
of spot on.
kind of on the nose.
So
especially for the 30s and the Depression.
Yeah.
So I found this fun little bit, right? So apparently there is a thing called Dogville Confessions, which is a making of documentary that was filmed using a soundproof confession box near the soundstage where actors could go unburden themselves between scenes.
Okay.
And in it, Stellan Skarsgård, who has worked with Von Trier many times,
Yeah.
describes Von Trier in one of these confessions as, quote, a hyper-intelligent child who is slightly disturbed while playing with dolls in a dollhouse, cutting their heads off with nail clippers. Von Trier himself testifies that the cast is conspiring against him.
You know,
I read a blurb right before this.
Yeah, I want to find this. Like, we need
Oh,
to
yeah.
watch this
Well,
making of documentary
I
because this sounds
think I have
fantastic.
ooh, I might have gotten rid of the DVD. I bet it's on the DVD.
Oh, yeah.
dude.
It might just be on YouTube.
Yeah, by now it probably is.
What is it called? Confessions of Dogville?
It's called Dogville Confessions.
Okay. I read this blurb like right before we started, It says Paul Bettany didn't want to be in the movie because they were shooting it in Sweden, but then Stellan Skarsgård convinced him to be in because I think he's the only one in this cast that's worked with Von Trier before. And he says, Stellan Skarsgård told him that Lars Von Trier's shoots were so funny that you'll miss something extraordinary if you turn down the part. And then halfway through the movie, Paul Bettany asked when the fun started, and Stellan Skarsgård just said, "I lied. I didn't want you to pass it up."
Shit.
I just love that the guy who's like got the like most storied history with him was just like he's just like a petulant child. He's just like fucking playing God.
I mean, dude, how many people that produce this kind of artwork are not that? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's pretty fucking par
Steven
for the
Spielberg,
course.
I feel like he's like, hey, let's get this shot in so you guys can go home to your families.
We got Michael Patrick saying the
I mean, at
confessions
that-
are on YouTube.
All right,
Indeed.
yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I just googled it. Hey, thank you. Also,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Thanks for
Yeah.
checking.
Yeah, it is. I definitely want to check that out. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's an hour long. What were we just talking about?
We were talking about the confessions, Reese. Where the fuck were you?
No, after that, I got to try. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, the crazy guy working. You have to be.
Yeah. A lot of artists that can produce like really tangibly worthwhile art.
Yeah. And you were talking about Spielberg. I was just gonna say Spielberg sets probably run more like a factory than like
Right.
a film set. It's just like and go and 1, 2, 3 and we're done. Let's go. You know?
Yeah.
More aliens. More.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, this film is a bear to get through for sure. It's
It was.
arduous. It's grueling. It's painful.
I feel like we would have pushed back more if we'd known in advance that it was 3 hours
I'm
long.
sorry, guys. Also,
Oh, I think it worked out for the best that we were like, oh, it's 3
I
hours
totally
long.
fucking forgot it was 3 hours.
The only thing
I had no
wrong with
idea.
it being 3 hours was the fact that we do this on the off Wednesdays. So like we get together at like 9 o'clock or later
Yeah.
at night. And so in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch this movie. It'll be done by like 11:30. I'll be home by midnight.
Yeah.
It's just like we walk into Reese's setup here, and it's just like he's already got the movie pulled up and paused at the before the beginning credit, and we see like the 3 hour and 2 minutes across, and it's like, oh, okay. So
We were also very
I
talkative.
didn't bring enough snacks.
So we kept pausing it and chatting and then
we
like
did.
added another hour to the movie.
But yeah, it is a thing that if you are prepared for it, it is absolutely a film that's worth watching.
I would say that it's worth watching once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Like-
might not watch it again, and honestly,
Yeah,
it's heavy enough that it's going to leave an impression that you really probably don't need. to
No,
watch
probably
it.
not.
No, I would
I
agree.
mean-
I would agree. I don't feel the need to watch it again.
No.
That being said, I didn't dislike the movie.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
no.
I'm glad that I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually, now that I know that there is a legitimate sequel, I'm actually really.
I'm kind of game for that. Maybe we can do
I'm
that
kind
on
of
a
excited.
Friday or something.
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
kind
that.
of
I'll have
excited
to.
to
I
watch
don't know
that.
how to.
I wonder if Grace can maintain her Jesus level of kindness in the second film.
I
I
feel
can't
like.
imagine so.
I feel
you
like
know?
we'll really have to watch it as like there's another sequel that's like it's kind of a sequel but also is it canon or just like like
right.
this Dogville might need to stand alone. I
Right.
might watch the sequel just as curiosity.
Yeah,
what
I
goes
think
on.
we should be a little like abject about it for sure when we get to it. But no, it's I do think, and that's why I went ahead and pulled the trigger on the pick. It just lined up with the gangster shit you guys were doing, and so I'm like, I knew I was going to pick it eventually because it was a film that struck me hard when I watched it. Yeah, I watched it right around the time it came out. Probably came out in 2003.
2003.
I probably watched it right about that time, 2004, maybe 2005. And I watched it on IFC, and yeah, it hit me, and I was floored by what it was. And I'm super into way too heavy, way too depressing shit. Most of this media I feed myself is arguably
I love
just
depressing
crushing
movies.
and depressing. So
It's just that depressing movies are usually covering interesting topics, and so
Yeah,
interesting topics
exactly,
are interesting.
yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely think that if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Just be prepared for what it is. It's fucking heavy. And
I just don't fault anyone if they're not interested in consuming stuff with rape and like
for sure.
you know, so like, don't feel like it's like, oh my god, I gotta miss this, or I watch this, or I'm missing out. But it's definitely worth watching. I agree.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I would say that by not watching it, you are missing out on a great piece of art. And
Yes.
a piece of, as an artist, would say is real art, because real art is supposed to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Real art is a mirror, it's a lens, it's a slap in the face to humanity. It is the way our species checks itself. That's the function of art. And so to me, this is a great piece of real art because that's exactly what it does. And that's the thing. So at the very end of the movie, when, the gangster rolls in town after Tom...
Gangster played by James Caan, which I like 30 seconds into the movie, and I'm like, is that James Caan?
Yeah.
And all I had was his voice. It's like somebody who's seen The Godfather a million times.
So
it was instantly
What
recognizable.
I really love about the culmination of this movie is that it wasn't just like gangster rolls in, which is revealed to be her dad, and it's like, okay, kill them all. They have a very real conversation on morality.
Yeah.
Like there's a good 10 minutes of legitimate, fantastic dialogue before she decides to use the power he's promising her for the things she decides to use it for, which is cleaning this fucking mess up off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And that's what I really dug about it. It's not just like, it's not casual. No part of this is casual, and that's what this has to be. Like, these people did terrible things, and they should be held accountable for the terrible things they do, and it still required actual dialogue and communication about this thing, really looking at the moral value of everything before it was decided that this was the only solution. And I fucking agree. That's the thing that our species, we let too many things slide and we hold too many things up. Like, when there's X amount of depravity, there ought to be a real fucking consequence, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there not being a consequence is how we've gotten where we are.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of dig about this movie. It's just like, it's a very brutal look at that. Like, hey, people are fucking terrible. Let's make them accountable for being fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
You shouldn't get a slap on the wrist or a pat on the back or yeah, it'll get better next time. No.
And you told us going into like picking this movie, you're like, it's like you said going into it, like there's not really anything positive, but like, God damn it, there's a fucking payoff.
There's a
there are
fucking
consequences.
resolution.
There's a resolution. There's a resolution.
Yes.
And there is.
That's what you said many
and it's
times.
the only thing that makes any sense when you watch this movie, you look at these characters. Nothing good could come from any of these motherfuckers. Except, again, maybe the baby. She gonna whisk that baby away to be like,
No.
fucking raised in a place of power and everything be good. But that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I encourage people to watch it. Be prepared when you do. I think it's a fantastic film. It's a beautifully filmed. Like, it's a beautiful film technically, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's very stripped down, I think it's very well executed.
Yeah,
and,
they do. It's weird. Before we get into final thoughts, I just wanted to say from the get go, my thoughts on it were like, visually, they very much make it look like a set and a play,
Yeah,
right?
and that's the whole
But
vibe.
throughout the entire thing, they're very much trying to make it at the same time seem like it's not a play.
Yeah.
They're trying very hard
They
to do
don't-
both simultaneously.
Yeah.
They don't break the fourth wall at all.
Yeah, I
It's-
know. Yeah,
It's
I-
a very unique experience.
Yeah.
it
In
is.
film.
So, you guys have any final thoughts?
I mean, to me, it's just, I think that people should see this film. They should see stories like this. They should be prepared to be uncomfortable. and to maybe be a little mad. And I think that's what we need. And I think that any piece of art that can do that is important. And so you should see it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's my final thought.
Reese, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a perfect example of not just advancing from just watching movies as entertainment, right? It's kind of like the definition of why films can be interesting and important and what they can do. And I think it's really worth exploring and watching.
Fucking art, man.
Yeah.
So my final thoughts are: fuck, this movie was tough to enjoy,
Yeah.
but somehow I found a way.
And you will.
It's not perfect, but true art never is.
Yeah,
you know,
it's fucking, and that's the thing. That's what's one thing about this movie is it's fucking charming
yeah.
Yeah.
for being the goddamn ball of depravity and ugliness that it is. It's fucking charming,
Yeah.
and that's kind of that's kind of what humanity is. Like, oh, look at this fucking thing that just wants to murder itself and shit on everything, but it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
You know, like,
John Hurt also really sells the quaintness.
oh,
Yeah.
he does.
It makes it
Yeah.
very charming. He
Yeah.
plays a huge
But yeah,
part.
so yeah, it is what it is. Be prepared if you watch it.
And I will say, John, you were correct. It does have resolution.
does.
If nothing else, it does
Yeah.
have resolution.
Wraps it up.
I will say, like I said, this Dogville is playing on Mubi, but apparently Manderley is also playing on Mubi and is
Ooh.
not available anywhere else.
I'm
including
watching that shit. I had no idea. I'm so excited to watch that.
Yeah.
More depravity.
Yeah.
It's about slavery too, so it's gonna get real bad.
Apparently, even though it takes place in the 30s, that's
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
It says it's based
It's
on
like a
a
decade
story.
Hmm.
It says it's based on some truth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
It's
about it.
weird. What is the director? Is he
He's
German?
Danish, I think.
Danish? Oh.
Yeah, I think he's from Denmark.
Oh. Objectively, like he's like you can say whatever he wants because
He's the Danist.
he's one of those, man. Like those guys are like
Yep,
they get to
he's-
just exist outside the world and like, ha, fuck you
Yeah.
all. We're good.
Yeah.
You guys are terrible.
He's from.
We've
he's
never
from
done
Denmark.
anything bad.
Yeah.
Those Nordic people. It's you know that's fucking weird. That in present day world geopolitics, the most like standoffish and like somehow like resolute and to a degree right peoples used to be Vikings.
Huh.
Right? Like Sweden, Denmark, Norway, like all the Nordic nations.
Yeah.
They're like
All the raping and
out of
pillaging.
everything and are just like the best at just like being peacekeepers and like cool people.
Yeah.
Were fucking bloodthirsty Vikings a
Yeah.
few hundred years ago. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New
I guess they
Zealand-
learned.
New
noteworthy.
Zealand also seems to be doing something right. They
Right,
kind of
right.
seem like
Yeah.
a paradise.
I mean, you know, you had Elizabeth live on an island that is like
Yeah.
lush, actual physical paradise, and yeah, you know,
yeah.
it's gonna happen.
It helps.
So, would you guys mind if I took a few minutes to do a fuck that movie?
Sure.
Dude,
'Cause
fuck
I actually
movies
have
all
a good
over.
one.
I got a bunch that I'm just waiting
Yeah,
to do,
yeah,
so have at
um,
it. Do it.
Yeah, and
Let's shit on something.
we're trying to do this on a schedule, but that's not really working.
Yeah,
but I
that's
do have
fine.
one that actually is a great antithesis to this movie, because John, in the spirit of picking a movie that, goddamn it, has fucking resolution. I want to take this time to rant about a movie that has pissed me off. 1 minute on that. That has pissed me off for a long time, ever since seeing it. Have you guys ever seen this movie called The Kids Are All Right? And that
Yeah,
is
once.
and all right being two words, all right.
No, I never got around to
All
seeing
right,
it.
so this movie fucking pissed me off because first off, the thing is, it's not actually a bad movie.
Yeah.
It just has no fucking resolution. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's
right,
so
so,
important.
Did you
rewatch it recently?
I have
Or-
not rewatched it. I'm going off of like first watch. So I'm sorry. This is
I would
like
be down to
like my recall on this
I'd
is
rewatch
kind of old,
Uh-huh.
but this is just what my feelings were the one time I watched the movie. It's got a terrific cast.
yeah.
Okay, so it's got as is like basically a lesbian couple. It's Julianne Moore and help me out here, Reese. You've seen this.
I have, but I don't also remember her name.
Oh fuck! It's hold on a second. I've got it written down here. It's Julianne Moore and Annette Bening.
Oh, Annette Bening.
Yeah,
Oh,
who I think is just one of the like finest actress of our generation. So basically, they've been together for many years. They're married. They have a son and a daughter, both conceived through artificial insemination from the same donor. Which right off the bat, that seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like the same donor. Like, so did you get like? Are you like really like bargain hunter with your cum sales? Like
From the same
you were able
donor?
to get 2 from that sample? God
They're
damn!
not twins, right?
No, to my knowledge, they're not twins. So anyway, they're all this happy family. We got 2
Right.
moms. We got a daughter and a son. But the daughter and the son, kind of behind their mother's backs, decide that they want to like track down their biological sample giver of a father,
Right.
who ends up being Mark Ruffalo, also super underrated actor. I think Mark Ruffalo is fantastic.
I do agree with you there for sure.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo is fantastic. And so what happens is Mark Ruffalo comes into this family dynamic and hits it off with everyone. Everyone loves Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Like, the kids love Mark Ruffalo as a father figure. I'm pretty sure, if I'm recalling this right, the mothers want to fuck Mark Ruffalo, and I think they even do.
Yeah, I think that's where the conflict comes from.
Yeah,
is
that's
that
where
one
the
of them
conflict
does.
comes in. So, like, Mark Ruffalo comes in, and the next thing you know, he's fucking the lesbian mothers, like, individually.
Well, you guys are
So
loosely
here's
principled.
where and I'm sorry if you've never seen The Kids Are All Right and you're at all interested at this point, stop listening for the next 3 minutes. Fast forward the next 3 minutes because there are going to be super spoilers here because I'm going to tell you the end of the movie. And this is
right now.
This is why the end of the movie fucking kills me, right? So basically, there's like a conference between the 2 mothers, and they realize that like while the kids are really enjoying this guy, he has kind of fucked both of us, and that's caused some rifts. That's kind of caused some rifts in our marriage. And the children, seeing that he's fucked both of us, are aware of the rifts that he's caused in our marriage and in our family, and are kind of just like, Mark Ruffalo, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's the end of the movie. So the whole thing is these kids search up a father figure, enthrall them into their family, and then things happen in the family that are hard because families are hard. And then
they're hard.
And then the end resolution is we're just going to go back to normal. So by the end of the movie, I'm like, what has actually happened here?
All
and
right,
the answer
all right.
is nothing.
So
Nothing actually fucking happened.
Could you say that you would end very similarly if in real life a couple had an infidelity issue and decided to stay together and power it out? Like, that's kind of, it's like, there is a bit of like on edgeness to that ending of
there's
I'm
on
not-
edge, but so it could be
I'm
like
not debating. No, they did the right thing.
Yeah.
Like honestly, that's the mature thing. Like, we fucked up.
yeah.
Let's just get him back out of
So-
our lives. Go back to the way things were. The problem is that doesn't make a good movie.
So the thing is,
that just really doesn't make a good
that's
movie.
what I'm saying. So the thing is, like, maybe, like, you created, especially like in today's day and age, like maybe you create a new dynamic. Like you set up an uplifting, like inspirational thing with like if you take it in a different context, this guy coming in, yeah, he has sex with both of the mothers.
He shakes up their world for a minute.
He
and
shakes
then-
up their world, but if the resolution is just like, fuck it. Like, there's nothing gained from that. But there could have been something gained from that, because there could have been an exploration of actual relationships from that. So there could have been something there, you know?
I definitely.
Like,
So here,
you know?
my problem with the movie is my real problem with the movie is it's actually a pretty good movie.
I'm sure
It's actually a pretty good movie, but then like but
You're
when you get
just
to the
left with
end,
this-
and it's just like
yeah.
okay, so everything just goes back to normal, and none of this had to happen at all.
And we could have assumed that none of it did happen. And it would have been the same.
Yeah,
place.
and it's
exactly.
just like
That
I just
doesn't
felt like a fool at the end
Yeah.
for sitting through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's not a useful piece of art.
it's not even like a lack of a resolution. It's a lack of anything.
Yeah.
Like there's like at that point there's no plot.
Yeah.
Like what was the point of this?
No, I would like. I'm going to watch that one too.
Yeah, I'd say I was gonna say it feels definitely prone or due for a rewatch because I also haven't watched it.
And I'd be down to rewatch it. I'd be down to rewatch it, but for the moment and for this time and for the topic of having resolution, fuck that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah. No, I hate that, man. I hate that in movies when they have an opportunity to do something really interesting and just like fall short. Like it's right there in their hands. They could do something different, do something interesting. It's like,
yeah.
Whatever.
All these things could have happened, but instead we just ended up right back where we started.
We just chose not to.
Yeah.
Really disappointing. Yeah.
All right.
The world is your
What
oyster.
movies did we talk about wanting to watch? Because I got Manderley and now the kids are all right, and then
There was one more.
Silent Night. Was that the other one?
Silent Night will be a pick for the holidays for sure.
Yeah.
Silent Night.
Violent Night.
Oh, Violent
Night.
Yeah.
And
Silent
you guys
Night,
will
Deadly
fucking
Night.
have a great time because that movie is so much fucking fun, and I can't tell you guys how excited I am for Halloween. Cannot wait for us to watch.
All right.
As soon as I get a pick, I'm fucking naming Murder Party.
What do we have left, guys?
What's playing in
What's
theaters,
playing?
which is probably dog shit at this point.
You know, it's actually we're on the upswing now. We're
on
out of
the upswing?
August.
All right.
Some stuff coming.
There is some stuff coming. Also, I want to say I know we always want to get people out to theaters, and I still encourage that. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
there is Wes Anderson's new short film came out on Netflix today.
Ooh, I was unaware.
I will get the title very quickly.
Oh,
But
also speaking of Netflix, I think this week the next season in the Castlevania anime series,
Oh yeah.
which is going to be fucking fire. And if you like anime or would like to like anime, but maybe anime puts you off because a lot of it's
I don't like
fucking
anime, but I
dorky
love
and too
Castlevania,
much,
so I power through.
Castlevania is not written as anime. It is only aesthetically styled as anime, and that's what makes that
That's
series
why I like it.
great. It's fantastic because it's not written as anime, because anime is fucking obnoxious most of the time and dorky and too much. And Castlevania has been written as a good drama that happens to have super fucking dope, awesome visual animation alongside it. So that's coming out soon.
So the Wes Anderson short film, it's 40 minutes long. It's on Netflix, and it's called The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar.
Okay.
The lead
I
is
will be
Benedict
looking forward to
Cumberbatch.
that.
So yeah, I'm very excited to watch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
That's a new one for him.
Let's
Yeah.
guys, if you guys wouldn't mind putting that off,
Yeah.
we'll probably get together and watch a film.
Yeah.
I won't be around this Friday, but
Right.
next Friday for sure.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm down.
Next Friday, like maybe we can do that as an add-on to whatever we're
for
watching.
Sure. Yeah, only
for
40
sure.
minutes.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah,
fantastic.
that'd be because a lot of times we get together and we don't have enough time for 2 movies, but a movie
Oh
and a
yeah,
half is
even
perfect.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
On Wednesday we could watch.
That'd be
it.
perfect for
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
a
A
new
week from
one
tonight,
for,
we can do a
Wes.
movie plus that.
yeah.
Have
Oh,
Benedict
it's-
Cumberbatch. That's
Yeah, that dude's awesome.
He's
Yeah,
got
he is.
some new Benedict Cumberbatch, Dev Patel, Richard Ayoade, and Ben Kingsley. I don't think any of them have been in.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh,
All right.
Sir Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
You have to put a sir when you say
Yeah.
Ben
Put
Kingsley.
some sir in front of his
Ben
name.
Kingsley and a
he's
fucking
a-
Wes
he's a nice
Anderson joint.
motherfucker.
I'm down for that. Dude, if there was ever a day, my dream would to see fucking Quentin Tarantino and Wes Anderson make a movie together because it would be fucking amazing.
That would be pretty incredible.
Because their styles are so close.
Yeah.
Like, they're so close, but they're just like
Almost
odds.
polar opposites of like.
in brevity and maybe like
I think they should be co-starring in this movie that they
Dude.
direct together.
they should, but they're different. Like Tarantino is much more like
But
vulgar.
it's like the scale is a circle, and so they're on
Yeah.
polar opposites, but they're also back to
no,
back.
exactly. Like so.
what I think what makes them similar is their like 60s 70s era styling
Yeah, well,
that's
not,
in their movie
the
because they
lighting.
both
not
have
just
that.
Not just that. It's that. It's the lighting. It's the dialogue.
Yeah.
They are obsessed with intricate dialogue. To have those two like dude, like
they're like some of the top 10 directors
Dude,
that
they
are
are.
most allowed to do
just
whatever.
imagine these dudes. Imagine a film where these dudes get to write sections of dialogue at each other.
That would be interesting.
That would be fucking dope, dude.
Yeah.
To see Tarantino and Anderson just fucking like back and forth in film.
With
That'd be cool. Dude, it would be. Oh my god, that would be the thing that's like the ultimate film to me.
Yeah.
In my mind is to see Wes Anderson and Quentin Tarantino make a film together.
So, Reese, you were going to tell us what we should watch in theaters.
You should.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 major movies coming out this week, in order of my interest, least to most. The first one is Saw X. I've only seen 2 Saw movies, so I don't.
So this is Saw 10?
This is Saw 10.
Jesus fucking
But there's been
Christ.
2 prequels since the last
So
Saw
this
movie.
is the one that you're least interested in seeing?
Of these 3 movies, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If somebody offered to buy my ticket and wanted to watch it with me, I'd probably go. Otherwise, no, I don't even know if I'll ever end up seeing Saw X in my life. Second one is Dumb Money. It's the true story about the GameStop stocks.
The trailer looked like intriguing.
Yeah, right. Like it might be at least entertaining. The cast is great. It's Paul Dano, Pete Davidson, Vincent D'Onofrio, America Ferrera, Nick Offerman, and Anthony Ramos. So like the cast is fun, and it looks like they're going for like a more like lighter, funnier take on the story. So I'll watch it.
No, it looked interesting enough. I'm not a huge Paul Dano
Dumb
fan.
Money. The GameStop.
It's
movie.
about the GameStop thing. Sorry, you were just out of the room for a second.
There's a movie on that already?
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
Apparently,
Jesus.
Saw X is one of the movies coming out.
The GameStop thing. I would like maybe think about it like 5 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's worthy of a story, a year and a half after it happened.
No.
But here we are. And then what I'm most excited about is also what I'm most like on the fence about, because it could go either way. It could be,
Is it the creator?
The creator.
Dude, I saw the trailer for that the other day and it looked fucking dope.
It looks incredible, right?
creator?
But
It
I
looked
haven't seen this yet.
It looked fucking dope. John, we'll play the teaser trailer.
We will.
afterwards.
From the director of Rogue One.
from the director of Rogue
That's the
One
best Star Wars
and-
movie
It
ever.
is.
and Godzilla
And this does look.
2014.
This
So
does
he's the
look
best
a little
Star Wars
Star
and the
Wars-y.
best
It's definitely
Godzilla.
sci-fi.
No. Yeah. Maybe. I think
We'll
I
definitely
feel like I
we'll
saw
play
it.
the trailer in the room
Okay.
after we
Yeah.
shut off the podcast here.
So, like, at the very least, it's going to be
I'm
a boring,
excited as fuck for that
movie
movie.
with like absolutely gorgeous visuals, because the trailer just looks shot after shot of like the best sci-fi visuals you could hope for.
Yeah.
No, the trailer just looks like okay, yeah, sign me
Yeah.
up. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
I'm down.
The only reason I'm like hesitant is because like we get movies occasionally, like I'm shocked Tom Cruise isn't in this movie, but that's the kind of movie
Yeah,
where it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
for
this
sure.
looks like an awesome sci-fi movie that for some reason Tom Cruise had to be in. you know?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'm anxiously optimistic about it. I don't know.
So as I've gotten older, man, like I give so much less shit about Star Wars. Like I just really have gotten to a point where the franchise has gone and where the community of Star Wars has gone that I just don't give a fuck about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Man, Rogue One, that's a good fucking movie. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that.
If you
fucking
like
movie.
Rogue One, you'll love
Their
it.
trailer
Yeah.
got me with the trailer guy voice, right? So like the trailer guy voice.
Oh, I don't think I saw that trailer.
No, I mean just like the trailer guy, the guy who does the
Yeah.
voices
The
for
guy.
trailers, like
Yeah, the trailer guy.
In the world.
yeah,
from Touchstone Entertainment
Yeah,
comes a film
exactly that guy.
about a man and his search for the human experience. Like that guy.
Yeah.
So like I'll never forget my favorite of all time is went to a theater and I saw a trailer for Lake Placid, and it was like, critics are calling Lake Placid this year's Anaconda.
Well,
And it was just like, wait, what? And you know what? Kudos to them. They did not lie. They were very honest.
Yeah.
It was that year's Anaconda. It was exactly that year's Anaconda.
Like,
But
critics
this trailer,
say this is just
they
like
throw
Star Wars
fucking-
Episode 8.
Yeah.
Then here comes Star Wars Episode 9.
So for creator, what I saw was a teaser, and they threw. So a teaser is very short, right?
Yeah.
It's much shorter than a trailer, but they threw awesome visuals at me that looked very intriguing,
and then they're like, critics are calling The Creator the greatest movie of 2023. And it's just like, they're not fucking around.
All right, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. To
Like,
every
they're
year.
just coming out, they're just out the box. It's like, drop the mic, fucking this is the movie. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, because normally you wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
But
didn't
then
think
again,
it
like,
was in the realm.
I mean,
you
like
know?
what the machine had trailers that was like the funniest movie in theaters
Oh, yeah.
ever.
Dude,
You know?
it's
Yeah.
it's everything in the first world is the same as every goddamn box of saran wrap saying fucking premium best quality.
Yeah.
Like, it's you do that.
Oh,
you know?
we got a chat recommendation for
Dude.
Tusk that
Dude, I'd watch Tusk and
Oh.
talk about it on here.
We've
um,
already brought up Tusk several times.
I
Tusk
haven't
is a
seen it.
fucked
I haven't
up
seen
movie.
it. So that'd be a.
Have you seen it?
I have
You
not
haven't?
seen it. I have not seen it. No.
Oh,
So
oh,
that's
man.
a future pick for somebody, I'm
That's
sure.
a fucking movie, dude. Tusk is a fucking
anything else
movie.
coming to theaters, or are we gonna wrap this thing up and go on to next week?
Yeah, that's those are the three big ones this week.
All right.
So the last thing to do is talk about what we're gonna do next week, and we're gonna do something a little different here.
Oh.
Basically, we had a conversation last week, and my last pick kind of got fucked because there were some audio issues, and so it's not really a very good episode. So, In Bruges is a movie you should fucking see.
Oh, it's.
But if you're going to skip one episode of our podcast, skip that one because there are audio issues basically from the 40-minute mark until the end, and it's pretty obnoxious. So Reese brought up the idea that maybe I could do like a double feature on my next pick to make up for the fact that my last pick kind of got screwed.
Yeah.
And so I started like kind of hemming and hawing on this, and had a conversation with John. And also there's the point of, to this point, every movie we've picked, our collaborative input has been positive, right? Like, I don't really dig anime, so Ghost in the Shell wasn't really for me. But
Okay,
like,
yeah.
for the most part, I was positive about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And John didn't really love Raise the Red Lantern. I think it was pretty obvious, but he tried to remain positive. And so we're 12 episodes in now, and everything has been completely positive, and I am ready to change that shit up right now. So next week, next episode. That's probably
Yeah.
2 weeks from now. It might take 3. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna take some work for the three of us.
Okay.
All right. But it's gonna get fucking uncomfortable in this booth on the next one. All right.
Okay.
So, Reese, I kind of took your idea of choosing multiple movies and ran with it.
Okay.
And so we've always been positive, but the thing is, in our everyday lives, when the three of us interact with each other, we kind of get into like arguments about certain movies and shit that doesn't really come out here. We do it away. We do it away from. Like, actually, last week,
After
you and I got into it.
after last episode.
As soon as we got away from
In
the
the
microphone,
lobby.
we got into it.
Yeah.
We got in a heated conversation about Barbie in which
Yeah.
one person wasn't listening to the other person, but that's okay.
I think that's true times 2. And John concurs.
Yeah.
So anyway, so next episode, episode 13, is going to be a grudge match triple feature.
Triple feature.
We will be watching The Village, Uncut Gems, and Barbie.
Oh God! And you haven't seen Barbie? That's pretty perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Good.
you haven't seen Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Barbie, and I haven't seen The Village
Yeah.
in forever. I basically
And we
Yeah.
both have strong and
yeah.
like anti views of like there are two people for each one of these movies. There are two people that have completely opposite views and a third person who hasn't seen the movie. So
Yeah.
so we're gonna have two competitive views
Yeah,
with
this is
a
perfect.
third.
It's
So
gonna be like a
fucking
4-hour
perfect.
episode.
yeah, so
Yeah, well.
so basically what we're gonna do this episode and it might have to be 3 weeks from tonight just because we might need the extra week of
Rich,
preparation.
if we did, all right, so
It's possible. Like
hold
I don't
on,
know.
If we did 3 weeks from tonight,
Because I also don't have this Friday. I'm out this Friday. Or next Friday, sorry. Actually, both Fridays. Fuck, I'm not going to be here this Friday or next Friday. So
Jesus, man.
if we did 3 weeks, it would be the week of the 13th.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're probably going to be 3 weeks till our next episode,
Yeah.
unless we can squeeze a bunch of shit in extra time. So.
Yeah, that's true. To watch all three together.
But we're gonna skip a lot of the ancillary stuff. We're not gonna do the what have we been watching because this is what we've been watching.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna get right into the meat, and it's just gonna be 3-movie breakdown grudge match.
So what's fun? What's super fun? What's super fun about this though too is that it's a perfect transition into the fucking holiday season.
Yeah.
Oh
Right
man.
after that, we're just fucking
Yeah, I'm doing horror movie next, baby.
horror Christmas movies. I actually wanted to talk about too about potential so it'll miss because if this is going to put us into the middle of October, it's going to make
We only have one episode
missed
in October.
picks. But if we
Or
want to delve
Halloween episode.
into the horror thing, because it is, and honestly, I could delve into the horror Christmas thing because my favorite Christmas movies are Christmas horror movies, and those movies are also pretty awesome horror movies.
Yeah.
So I was gonna suggest maybe for those a double feature for each of us to maybe pick something that's super serious and super fun because a lot of the best horror movies too are fun movies, not actual serious horror movies.
Yeah.
But we could splice that shit into the fucking holidays too. So
Yeah.
Right on.
that's my suggestion.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect.
All right. So I think that's gonna do it for this week's episode.
Uncut
So-
Gems is not great. It's terrible.
Oh my god.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You're gonna get a lot of this shit.
Uncut
In the
Gems
next
tries too
episode.
hard.
So Uncut Gems, John hates it. Reese loves it. The Village, John loves it. I hate it. And then Barbie, Reese loves it. I hate it. So
I haven't seen it.
yeah,
Reese hasn't seen The Village.
and for each one, the third person not named has not seen the movie. So
Yeah.
it's just going to be great conversation. It's going to be a lot of drama, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
It's gonna be fun.
all right. Well, that's going to do it for this week.
Yeah.
So join us in probably 3 weeks.
Probably. We'll look at the Facebook page for Take Action for updates. Or my own
If we
page.
find a way to squeeze in extra movies in the next 2 weeks with me being gone the days that we normally watch the movies, we will make it happen.
Yeah,
But
I'll let you
otherwise, it's going to be a late release on this one. So, that's
Michael Patrick agrees with me. Uncut Gems is great.
It is not great.
He loves it.
It tries so fucking hard.
I have no
It tries
clue.
so hard. There's no
Haven't seen it.
resolution.
And he's ready to be on my side for Barbie. I just know.
yeah.
I haven't
All right.
seen it yet.
All right.
Stay
Well,
tuned.
that's going to do it. Everyone, have a great 3 weeks and watch some cool shit. Go to the theater.
Yeah.
Peace out.